Hi there.
Okay, let's try this one out. Let's grab this Hot Wheels car. Okay, I swear I did not fake this. I will say this is my second game. First game had a couple weird cars. This is my second game, and I literally got the exact same car. The odds of this happening are unbelievable. I would say this is one of the least used cars in the entire game.
Oh, I'm
And this
such a
actually kind of
bot.
blows my mind a little bit. In his post, he says it is they are basically to
Yeah,
even the
hi.
playing field so that the better players play versus each other. And though cars aren't inherently better, you could kind of stereotype players who use random cars just because they're more likely to be good players. You just don't see Squishy using his random cars. Seriously though, I was not expecting this. It feels
Uh,
super weird because
in
I don't know.
doubles,
This
I'm
one could be
gold
really fun,
2,
at least to some people.
and in the
Number
rest I'm
5 actually has
unranked,
something really
because
cool
I
to
don't really
see.
play
It
ranked that
goes way
much.
back to season 3 of RLCS. Flipside was playing against Resident, and basically if they beat Resident in this match of League play, Resident wouldn't qualify for the regional championships, but if they
Hello.
lost, Resident would qualify for knocking out the clearly better team getting into esports. And Flipside would have to face either of these teams depending on the outcome of this match. So
Oh, I'm
apparently,
such a
like
bot.
this Reddit user once had reported, that Flipside actually threw this match in a calculated fashion, purposely giving up goals and missing shots. Now you have to remember, this was kind of the height of Flipside's team. At least it was coming off of their best season. They just won the championship the season before, and Resident simply was not on their level. This series felt like Flipside was sort of toying with them. When they wanted to win or score a goal or just win a game, they did so easily, and then they would just give
Oh,
up
I'm
on the
so
easy
bad
wins.
right
So this
now.
loss against Resident meant a rematch versus them again in the regional championships. I don't know, this one could be suspicious, but maybe it's not. Number 4 is a theory that I initially heard from Science Con. I think this was going around on Reddit. But basically, after me and some other content creators went out to Psyonix for a trip to basically see the office and get a sneak peek into Rocket League 3, basically immediately after that visit, it was announced that Epic Games was acquiring Psyonix and Rocket League would be moving over to the Epic Games store. So here's the theory. Psyonix actually brought us content creators out to San Diego for one main purpose, and that is to bribe us / pay us off so that all of us would be publicly positive about this acquisition. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but all the content creators were very vocal about this being a good thing. Now there could be possibly other reasons why all of the content creators of a game would be happy
Boom.
to have more big
Boom.
developers buy their game. I don't know. Could be that this was because
Boom.
Epic buying Rocket League would let them grow and ultimately
Boom.
more views for everyone. Could be that. Plus, I can confidently say that Psyonix did not pay me anything. I have never been bribed by them. No, I'm not hiding my face cam right now just because then you'd be able to tell I'm lying. I'm not.
Mm.
I promise. Just trust me.
Boom.
Why would you not trust a YouTuber? What's wrong with you? Alright, number 3 on my list goes to this theory. Hedroff 80. Basically, he says that Psyonix knew way back before Rocket Pass 1 that Epic Games was thinking about acquiring Psyonix, so they decided to release the Rocket Pass just like the Battle Pass of Fortnite, either to entice Epic to buy Rocket League or to see if the model would work for Epic, and maybe Epic was like already talking to them about buying them. In that case, Epic was actually sort of making Psyonix release it to see what the community engagement would be. You know, would there be enough purchases, how would it affect playtime for players, that sort of thing. It's an interesting proposition, and even nothing dirty has to be going on here. It would make sense for Psyonix to test it out before Epic bought them, to then see if hopefully the free-to-play model is possible for Rocket League. Alright guys, this may be my favorite Rocket League conspiracy theory of all time. I didn't put it at number 1 because, well, number 1 really is the best, but this one is hilarious, and it comes from Reddit user Krusty Sandwich. So here's how it goes. You know how after every update, there always seems to be some sort of random bug or glitch that is seemingly unrelated to the update? Like they'll add tournaments and suddenly dribbling is broken, or they'll add, you know, something for the UI and then suddenly flip resets are broken. So here's the theory. There's actually a guy, or a small group of guys, whose entire job is to quickly fix bugs after updates. And so, to keep themselves relevant, right after an update comes out, that guy or guys will just go in and wreck a random part of the game just so that they can come back and fix it, thus keeping themselves busy and keeping their jobs ultimately. And all of this came from a conversation over Subway. I love that the top comment on this is, man, Subway sounds good AF right now. Alright guys, number 1 on my list goes to the scripted tournament theory. Basically, it goes like this, according to the community. Rocket League tournaments are scripted. There it is. The people running the tournaments, the promoters, Psyonix, they plan out who will win and how they will win. They planned Dignitas's like sort of dynasty and then Dignitas losing to Cloud9, and they do all this to create more excitement, get Rocket League in the spotlight, get more players to want to play competitively, and ultimately get more sales. Now the best part of this conspiracy is that there's actually a little bit of evidence, and not just the ridiculous nature of so many of Johnny Boy's show matches, or even like this past DreamHack tournament, but look at this clip of JamesBot accidentally saying who would win.
Vitality is a team that has already taken down, or they will be playing Dignitas later, so this could be a massive week for, I mean, Vitality is a team that has already taken down, or they will be playing Dignitas later, so this could be a...
Also, how do you explain this clip from the Beyond the Summit tournament?
When's the goal happening?
It's around like, I'll tell you. Hang on there.
Like, give us a time on the clock.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like it's gonna be a really bad goal. Around 3:37, I think.
Ooh.
Or I know, sorry, 3:37. It's gonna be a pretty bad goal for either team. I don't know who's.
Yeah, okay, I ask?
Okay, listen to this. I told you 3:37. I don't play games around this. I don't play games around this. Listen.
Alright guys, thanks for watching this one. Obviously all of this, or at least some of it, is in jest. Some of these may have some grains of truth in them. Who knows? Maybe they're all true. I don't know. But yeah, let us know which one you guys think is the most plausible Rocket League conspiracy theory. And thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Peace out.
Hoover believes in providing outstanding performance while meeting the needs of a healthy family life. Innovative cooking solutions to produce healthy meals for the whole family and deliver perfect results every time without compromising on your well-being. Hoover, cook the way you live.
Sun Wukong, a monkey born on a mountaintop, received a proposal from the East that he felt threatened his freedom and pride.
Model of video games where developers are always updating and changing their games make it so that while new things are added, and this is obviously great, sometimes old things need to be taken out, even if it means tens of people get angry. If you haven't been playing Rocket League since its early days, then you probably don't know about many of these changes, and if you have, it'll probably give you a good dose of nostalgia. Now I want to just jump right into the list, so let's get into it. Number 10, the NBA Antenna Pack. I think a lot of people probably miss this, mainly because most people don't even use antennas and flags. Now this doesn't mean that if you'd already bought the pack, it would be taken out of your inventory. It's just there was a certain day where you couldn't buy the pack anymore. So if you are a big basketball fan, you can still rock your favorite team flag, you just had to have bought it by a certain date. Now I'm guessing this one was removed because of some sort of licensing. It probably cost Psyonix a certain amount of money, and it probably didn't make sense for it when nobody really even uses antennas anymore. So it was probably a good move to get rid of it, but yeah, sucks for the basketball fans. Number 9, the Champion Series crates. Now this is the same as the NBA flags in some ways. The only change was that the Champion Series crates no longer were available as drops after games. So you're not going to see a Champion 2 crate just drop after a game these days, which makes sense when you think about it. Removing old crates sort of makes room for new crates in the drops. Again, if you already have a few or like 100 old Champion crates in your inventory, you don't lose those crates. I'm sure that this probably had an effect on the value of these crates and on the value of some of the items within the crates, but I really don't care about trading. I don't know. Who knows though, maybe 10 years from now my old champion crates will be worth like $2 a piece. Number 8, the Crimson Peppermint Wheels. This one is kind of funny. So basically the wheels are already crimson. Like the original wheels, they're red. So there was literally no difference between the crimson and the regular peppermint wheels. So when people got the crimson wheels, they were like,
Have your Fiat, mate?
so after the update, Psyonix made it so that your crimson peppermint wheels were replaced with a random color, which is great if you suddenly got, for example, titanium white peppermint wheels. But it kind of sucked if you got like burnt sienna wheels. Them wheels are quite ugly. Number 7, the Bullet Hit. This one goes way back to Rocket League's really early days, and it might have actually even just been in the alpha or beta. I don't know, I feel like it was after the release, but if it was, it wasn't for very long. Anyways, basically, if you hit the ball hard enough, you got what's called a Bullet Hit. Basically just a stat notification. Now the best thing was that you didn't even have to hit the ball that hard. So now literally every solid hit that you would get would probably qualify as a bullet hit. So they decided this one was just kind of unnecessary, and they took it out, which kind of makes sense. Number 6, the no flip. Now this is one of the few mechanics discovered in Rocket League that actually had to be basically nerfed. For the most part, they've just let mechanics stay, but this one was just way too OP. So basically there was a way to get the speed of a dodge without actually having to dodge. And you had to do this by going into your key bindings and changing key bindings, and then even once you changed it, it was really difficult to do. But you made it so that you could actually boost and dodge at the same time. Normally when you dodge, you can't boost the whole time because then you'd be boosting backwards technically. But if you get the speed of a dodge, that momentum, and your car doesn't flip all the way over, hence it being called no flip, you can dodge and boost at the same time, which means you can hit supersonic really fast and get to the ball super fast. And it was really difficult to master, so they decided to just fix it. And yeah, I was pretty happy about this one. I did spend a little bit of time learning it, but I didn't completely master it, so I wasn't upset when they got rid of it. Number 5, Rocket Labs. Now this was one of the things Psyonix removed that actually made quite a few people mad. Rocket Labs was basically the place for people to go and try out the newest maps, or just the maps that Psyonix was experimenting with. And I think, honestly, if I could go back, I probably would have spent more time in Rocket Labs. I think now, if it were available, I probably would do it, because it's pretty fun. But for Psyonix, it just wasn't justified, because so few people actually played in Rocket Labs. Again, though, the hard part about removing things is there's always going to be a few of those dedicated people who that's all they do. Like, they don't play anything else but Snow Day or Rocket Labs. So Psyonix just added these maps to casual gameplay, and they're always available for private matches as well. Something was definitely lost here, though. If you enjoyed playing those maps, this isn't, like the crimson painted peppermint wheels that were already crimson. You didn't really lose anything there. Getting to play these maps regularly definitely went away when Rocket Labs went away. Who knows, though? Maybe Psyonix will consider bringing this back at some point. Maybe after Rocket League goes free to play. Alright, number 4, the celebration time after a goal. Now, this one probably isn't one that you think of at first, because it's really about something that was added. So basically, before goal explosions were added, the camera would just focus directly on the car after a goal, and that meant that the camera actually caught you sort of spinning and freestyling away from the goal as the ball was scored. And I remember being really frustrated when this change was first implemented, but, now I'm just used to it. And I guess I don't think it's actually that impressive anymore to be able to just spin your car around in the air. But I remember back in the day, I always thought that if I scored a goal, the team saw me, spinning away, they'd be like, whoa, this guy's good. We're probably never going to be able to beat him. And I think I thought that because when someone else would score a nice goal and then, do something cool while they're spinning away from the goal, I would be like, wow, this person's really good. It's pretty stupid. Alright, number 3, non-standard maps in ranked. Now this one was actually a pretty big deal, and as someone who is pretty lame and just wants car soccer to be the same on basically every map, I was happy when Starbase and Neo Tokyo just sort of left ranked. I think now I'd be okay with having them in ranked, because I actually appreciate the different elements of skill and having to understand walls differently and, having to be able to deal with a different floor even with Neo Tokyo. Now, these maps weren't removed entirely. They were just renamed and added to unranked, and then the non-standard maps were recreated as standard maps, and they were left in ranked. But for most players who've been around for a while, those old maps left such a bad taste that people just still don't want to play at them, even though they're literally no different than a standard map. I actually think this was a good move. I don't know, this is kind of a contentious one, but I was glad when they got rid of it. Number 2, the hard reset for ranked. So there was a time in Rocket League's history when a rank reset actually meant something. You couldn't just win 3 of your 10 placement matches and basically get your rank back. Everyone just started over. So whether you were a gold or a grand champion, you could potentially run into players like Kronobi, And that was really everyone's hope, that, you know, you would just run into Kronovi, basically. But the more likely scenario would be that you'd end up with 3 other Grand Champs while you were, like, gold. And they'd all be incredibly angry that you don't want to forfeit because you're just enjoying watching them flying over your head, but you're completely screwing over your teammate. Now, this happened to me many times, and it would cause a lot of anger for people, and it took a long time for the ranks to balance out, like a really long time, but it was a lot of fun. Now, the rule for lower ranked players was that you just kind of didn't play ranked for the first few days after a rank reset, but of course I couldn't follow that rule because deep down I knew I was just as good as those Grand Champs, and I just wanted to play and improve and, you know, learn from getting completely clapped by players who were like hopelessly better than me. Now, it's tough